And yeah,
like a snowbank.
we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
It just wasn't
We're live.
loud.
Good evening, everybody at home, and welcome to the March 6th, 2023 meeting of the Derry Conservation Commission, our second one of the year. Before we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, I will ask that all members of the board and in the audience please silence all cell phones. I will also silence this computer. And once we are done that, I will ask that we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. In case of emergency this evening, please do not use the elevator. The stairs are behind us. We also have an emergency exit up here to the front. If you need assistance, although there's nobody in the audience tonight, a member of the commission can help you, if need be. We'll start this evening with an introduction of members, starting to my left.
Hello, Jeannie Cunningham.
Anita Chabot, good evening.
You're not on.
Bob Spurl.
Grace Reisdorf.
Bob Boonstra.
And I am James Degnan. Jeannie, will you sit for Rick Bazanga this evening?
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much. As we round into March here, and Mr. Weatherby is not here tonight, our council liaison, but I do want to thank Neil for sitting on our board as our council liaison for as long as he has. He's been a great steward for conservation, so a huge thank you to Neil for his contributions to our town, not only in conservation, but as a town councilor over the years. We will be getting a new council liaison at some point. We will welcome them with open arms. So we support them in. I also want to thank Eileen for re-upping or submitting to re-up again for another term. Thank you, Eileen. And I believe Rick has done the same, Mr. Bazanga. So thank you to those folks for their applications. We do still have one alternate position open, I did want to note. So first order of business is approving the minutes of our February 6th, 2023 meeting, which I did pass out. Wanted to make a note that the year did not change in the record keeping, so there is a manual edit that will need to be changed to 2023, but seeking an approval with that amendment if there is no other comments.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Eileen, second by Grace. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Boy, that was a quick one. All right. Moving into correspondence this evening, we did receive a Selt Everlasting newsletter. I will go ahead and pass that around for those who want to take a look at that. We have a notice from DES. This is for 18 Germantown Road, tax map 19, lot 89, dated February 13th. This notes that a shoreland permit application has been found to meet or exceed the requirements of RSA 483B as required. This permit is approved with conditions as follows, and the description is impact 1,825 square feet of protected shoreland in order to construct an addition to a primary structure and remove impervious area to convert into a lawn. Impervious surface percentage on this application, 43.6%. If anybody wants to see that one, they can pass that down. Second notice this evening from DES. This is a notice for Eversource Energy to continue work. This is a utility statutory permit by notification. We've received many of these over the last couple of months. New Hampshire DES determines that the utility SPN was administratively complete and the project as described meets the criteria. Work may commence in accordance with the conditions listed below. And I see nothing out of order on that one. GZA Environmental is the overseeing board on that project for compliance. We did receive a minor impact dredge and fill permit for a project at Chases Grove Road, dated February 15th. This is for sand reclamation, beach replenishment, and boat ramp. I will double check with Eileen before we leave this evening. I don't think we need to do anything with this permit. As far as I can tell, it's been signed off on And I don't think we have any oversight on it, but please do check it out, make sure I am correct on that.
Yep.
Okay? Let me see with this one. Nope, that's a copy. We also did receive a copy of a check, received 210 from LCHIP for our monitoring report. I believe the actual physical check was already sent into finance for review, but I will triple check with Mr. Fleischer that we did submit that in and it went into the correct account. Again, this was a scan of said check with a note card from LCHIP. Okay. All right. Moving into the main agenda this evening. One of the things that got sent around, I know at our planning session for Q1, we talked a little bit about conservation bylaws, and there was some commentary about whether or not we wanted to push that off into the back half of the year. But after reviewing the document, again, that was dated 2/27/2017, I didn't see anything openly calling to me that needed to be changed up or updated. Again, if we do make any edits to this, we'd have to ratify it with the council. One note that I did see in here, which I mentioned right before the meeting, was it does state that we are required to meet at least once a month. So months where we do fall into holidays, we need to be very clear and crisp that we do need to meet in those months, just to make sure that we protect ourselves. And I know Rick is not here, but he's a big summer guy. I think it's summer guy. So you normally ask for summers off or winters off, I forget. But we need to make sure we are hitting that once a month mark. Anybody see anything in the bylaws they want to comment on, or good, bad, or in between? Grace?
I noticed that the original bylaw was established in 1984. Or the commission was established in 1984. And the town charter, under the town charter, and I know that the town charter was invalid at one point when we had a mayor, which would have been like, I don't know when Paul Collette was elected, 85 or something maybe? Maybe 84. Anyway, our charter was discovered to be invalid at that point. We were not chartered to have a mayor. So we have a new charter since May Caston, I think, or Jack Dowd, I think, was the last mayor. So I'm wondering if this charter that it was originally established in had any significant changes regarding the Conservation Commission.
Okay.
So would you just change the date of the charter in here to the current,
I
the
don't
date
know.
of the current charter, James?
Well, what we got to do is, one, we'll confirm those comments, right? But I would say it may have been established at that point, and then I would say a line may need to be added that says reconfirmed in revised charter. That's probably all that needs to get added if we need to add anything, but we'll check with Ms. Guilford on that.
Good catch. Yeah, that's a good catch. Yeah.
Any other comments from you, Grace?
No, just some things that I thought were interesting that we weren't necessarily, like the memberships in other organizations. I know when I was on the school board association board, I also sat, when I was president, I also sat on like the school superintendent's board and the school principals board, and so they were kind of cross-board, so you saw what other things. What would we be?
Well, so in the years past, you'll remember we had Go Green, right? And we had kind of that subcommittee.
Okay.
Recently, in doing some cleanup of some notes, we had to confirm that was disbanded, end of 2018. We do have our EEAC, the Energy Advisory Committee, which we actually have been asked to hold a seat on as well and cross-pollinate. Again, we shared a booth with them at Dairy Fest this year. So if anybody has interest in supporting that board as well, we can certainly have discussions. But as I said at the council update for conservation, volunteers are hard to come by. And I always say, and let off with thanking everybody who volunteers for positions across town, because it is time and effort and energy. So, again, we have alternate positions open as well.
Yeah,
So,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to put too much on anybody's plate, but you're right, there was a lot more cross-pollination at one point.
Yeah, I just wondered what else they'd be, like maybe Water Commission? Would that be something too? I don't know. I mean, we have
Is
lots of
there a
water
water
in
commission?
our
Do we
neighborhood.
have-
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. I just wondered what.
It would be
you know.
nice if we did.
Listen, let's not ask for a list, we're going to get a list here. We'll get a list. Mr. Boonstra?
I just noted that the section 5 refers to a recording secretary, which we have not had for quite some time. So, and I believe you're working on that. But
Yeah.
it also talks about a couple of officers that I don't recall that we've elected. You know, we've elected a chair and a vice chair. I don't know that we've elected a secretary and a treasurer.
So we haven't done that this year, and we normally do that in April for the following, because again, we're hitting the end of our council liaison, and we typically rotate that over once we get the new one on board. Last year's conversation, and perhaps you weren't here, I'm still in the chair position. Rick was vice chair. So we'll do that election again.
Okay.
Although we do need to add here, because it doesn't say that we have a, there's no position for, oh no, there is, treasurer, I apologize. Which we'll need to do that for as well. Huge miss, by the way, when we did our Q1 objectives on the secretary. That should have been top of the list. Secretary forgot that when he was making the list. Eileen,
I had a
commentary?
couple, yeah. And these are just suggestions, maybe to just talk about. Under Article 1A, oh, wait a minute, no, that's not, that was Grace's comment, let's see. Nope, okay. Article 4, elections. Would it be good, like, when you look at the, let's see, the third sentence, the term for each officer shall be 1 year or until their successor is duly elected? Should we put a date in there, like maybe the first meeting in April will be the designated date for elections to be held, or something?
Yeah, we can add an official, we could add that in,
Okay.
sure.
And then Article 6, functions of the members, if you go down to paragraph B, I think it might be a good idea to put in the New Hampshire RSA for conservation commissions, the specific RSA that designates conservation commissions.
Proximity to the microphone, that'd be great, yes, thank you.
Could we double check that the mic is on? I'm sorry.
Yep,
A green light is on.
it's on.
Make sure you're talking into it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, you can't hear me, okay. So Article 6, paragraph B, I thought it might be appropriate to add the specific New Hampshire RSA for designated conservation commissions, appointing conservation commission.
Okay.
But other than that, I really thought the bylaws looked pretty good.
Any other commentary out there, or we can start to investigate a revised draft, and then ultimately we'll, we can do we could confirm a revised draft as a commission, and then it would ultimately go to TC to do a final review and vote on, to ratify it. So I think we hit everything there, and I didn't receive any commentary via email, so should be good. Okay. All right, good discussion. Yes.
I thought it was interesting under Article 8, voting, that if the vote's not unanimous, the record will indicate those that were opposed or abstained. I think we have abstained, but I'm not sure we do. Do we? Do the opposing?
In most cases in recent history, we've had fairly positive voting, with one recent exception that I can recall.
Okay.
In which we did, in the minutes, a roll call vote that ended in a split.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
That ended
So
in a
that would have
split.
been
So we did detail, not to the, well, yes, in that instance, we did a
Would have
yes
had-
and no vote.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes. So normally our minutes say, all in favor, motion carries, but we detail whoever abstains, mostly for minutes.
Right. Right.
Now, we could talk about doing roll call vote for everything, which makes it a little,
No, I don't think
takes
it's
longer,
necessary.
and then it needs to be necessary. Okay.
Just on the really big things.
Okay. Okay, so other business, moving into that section, if we're closed with that discussion. So what we'll do is we'll get these scanned in. I'll shoot an email this evening before we leave to confirm that date. We will add in the draft copy, the RSA for Conservation Commissions in Section 6B, and an official date for, official meeting, we'll say the first meeting
Which
in April
meeting, yeah, which
for
meeting in
election of
April will
officers.
be for elections? That would be good.
And then we'll put that back forth to the counselors. Moving into other business. Got a lot going on behind the scenes on our Q1 projects. So we did have an initial discussion on website. We're still working through some details on that. Did send an extension to set up a workshop, non-televised workshop with TRC. So more to come on that. The mowing plan is mapped already on GPS. We just need to get that an official document to Parks to approve. What else do we have on our working list? The trail, which it's a little bit cold with the snow, so we can't get the trail done for Shepherd until a little later in the season. But what we can do is we can mark out the original map with CELT and confirm that they're okay with that footpath, so I'll make sure that that gets done. I did receive a call from somebody on the Low property that there has been some ATV use on that property. Person walks that trail regularly. We corresponded via email. We are going to walk that property as soon as that person is back in the area to show specifically where the damage is occurring. Disappointing to hear, certainly on that property, because for years we've had no issue. Like none.
It's kind of a delicate property. too.
None.
Yeah.
There are a couple of spots as you're on that property walking it where it could be accessible via ATV or other.
Yeah.
It's also a parcel we haven't necessarily had to sign as no ATV, but I do have signs that we were able to secure through you, Eileen. We got a stacking copy.
Right.
So we're going to connect, I'm going to connect with this particular person who reported it and make sure that we take a look at it, sign it appropriately, and if we need to figure out gating a certain area, as long as it is truly on our property, we'll have to talk about how we can get that done. But again, just disappointing to hear. If you don't know where you're riding and you enter into an area accidentally, you really want to be sure where you're riding is, one, a place you can ride, and the landowner does approve for you to ride there, right? If you don't know, don't go. That's what I want to say out there. There's a lot of fantastic riders in town that are safe and follow the guidelines, and they are absolutely great examples. We appreciate that. We want you to enjoy. But again, when we hear things like that, it gets me going in the wrong direction, because we have this conversation sometimes, and I would really love to not have it. So, Low property off Hubbard Hill. I'm going to go survey the damage, and we'll get back. Other than that, I'm going to pull something up here. Any other comments from the board this evening?
On anything or just?
Yes, anything.
Okay.
I know you
All
shared a
right.
document
So I
with me.
sent you a document, I'll tell the board about it. I sent a document that I received about an upcoming action that Governor Sununu is looking to take, which is to remove the ability for the wetland scientists to get certified, and also soil scientists to be certified with the state of New Hampshire, which is really not a good move. You know,
No.
how when we're looking at wetlands permits here, we ask for the plans to be stamped, by a certified wetland scientist. We do that for a reason, because we want to be able to know that that wetland delineation is accurate, and it's been done by someone who's professionally qualified to do that delineation. That's really important. And I guess the legislature is looking at it also, and they're saying, well, why don't you just, get certified through the national, board? Well, the national it's not really a national board, it's the Society of Wetland Scientists. In fact, I used to have a membership with them. They're not really a certification board. You can pay a lot of money and become a member of the Society of Wetland Scientists. Each one of us here could do that. They're not a professional certifying board. And it is really important also to note that the state of New Hampshire has unique requirements for wetlands delineation from other states around the country. Okay, so there isn't, like, it doesn't fit what the legislature is looking at doing and what Sununu is looking at doing is going to cause a lot of harm for conservation commissions and, you know, us, right? We're, as Conservation Commission members, we're not going to have that ability when we look at plans to know that the delineations are done by a qualified professional. It's going to cause a lot of problems.
So do you know if what you shared with me, I didn't receive it, so I received it from
didn't
you.
receive it?
No, I
Oh.
received it from you, but I didn't receive it from the person that sent it. Is that a shareable?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
It
just-
says right in that newsletter, please distribute. you
Okay,
know.
so I just,
Yeah.
it's House Bill number 2, and in the bill, it's HB-655-FN, which would repeal New Hampshire RSA 310-A, is the specific action that's listed. That hearing is scheduled 2 days from now,
Right.
on the 8th. I think it would be appropriate to write a reply saying that we do not support this action from the commission, and I would seek approval from everybody here, you know, to go ahead and send that we would disapprove of this action, and, well, nice way, but, and that'll go out tomorrow morning.
You're going to send that out? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'll share the letter with you all tonight that we received, just so everybody can read it, but we'll send a generic
Yep.
note tomorrow saying that.
And then the other thing that we could do as individuals is you can contact your specific state representative and tell them that you're opposed and the reasons why you're opposed. It's really critical that we do that. This is going to be very harmful.
I would assume the DES would oppose that as well.
I think they probably are, but, you know, Sununu is just kind of bearing down on them, saying, no, this is what I want to do, and he's not really looking, I don't think, at the harm that's going to be caused by doing that. So I don't know that the DES, you know, can do anything about it, is what I'm saying. They can be opposed, but we got to let the governor know that we're serious, you know, Conservation Commission, serious harm is going to be thrown our way, and we got to let them know that's not acceptable.
Ski areas work very closely with the EPA on water usage and the impact on the environment they're pulling their water from. I think it's interesting that he's going that direction.
Right. Yeah, where this certification comes from too, it's the State Office for Professional Certification. They certify a number of different areas across the state, whether you're licensed to be a doctor, a nurse, or, you know, a hairdresser, whatever. Like there's just an array of different licensures that go through that office, and certification for a wetland scientist and for a soil scientist goes through that office. So Sununu says otherwise. So, but
We're doing the same thing for foresters,
Just so you have it.
foresters, right?
since
Yeah.
foresters, yeah.
Any other comments? I'll share out that email this evening and write a letter on letterhead from DCC stating we're opposed to this action and would like the governor to reconsider.
Right.
Everybody on board? Okay.
And the NHACC also put in their recent newsletter, they're opposed to it too. So they're lobbying against it.
Who is that?
The New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions.
Oh, okay.
They're opposed to it.
So will they let other commissions all over the state
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, through their newsletter. If you look at their most recent newsletter, and they give their reasons why it's a bad idea, so. Yeah.
Any other comments? No. Okay. It was not on the formal agenda. We did not have enough time to get it on the revised agenda that went out to the public on Friday, but we do reserve the right to enter non-public at any time. If we opt to vote and enter non-public, it will effectively end our meeting this evening. We will not be coming back to DTV, so it would close the minutes at the time of the order. So I'd like to ask Mr. Boonstra if he would request we move into non-public.
So I move that we move into non-public session under RSA 91A:3-11, parent D, consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of real or personal property which, if discussed in public, would likely benefit a party or parties whose interests are adverse to those of the general community.
Second.
Okay, well, she said it into the mic first, so
Yep.
Mr. Boonstra motions. We have a second from Grace. I'm going to take a roll call vote. Bob?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
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 Okay. Timestamp is officially 7:26. That will end the meeting this evening. Thank you, folks.